Hey everyone, this is Kitty from ROADIE Free Radio. In this clip, Larry talks to Arica Rust, who is a sound engineer at Wavelength Engineering LLC and has worked as a staff engineer for Sound on Stage. Arica talks about her first time ever mixing. If you want to hear more from Arica, you can listen to the full episode, number 122, from February 9th, 2019. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Here are Larry and Arica Rust.
Your first time mixing, your first time finally standing at the desk mixing a show, what was it like?
It's funny because I think one of the first mixing gigs I ever had was definitely one of those just throw you straight into the fire kind of situations. It was, I'm trying to remember if it was doing monitors for this outdoor festival that no longer exists in the Bay Area, or if it was this play that I did. But I'll tell you about both of them just because I can't remember which one came first.
Sure.
And they're both sort of equally thrown into the fire, if you will. The monitor gig was on a PM5D. I had never used the console before. So I knew that I was going to be on this gig, and I spent about a week in our shop after hours, off the clock, sitting on this console trying to figure out how to use it before the gig, because I was determined that nothing would go wrong as much as possible at the gig, and that I would figure it out by the time the gig happened. And it was mostly electronic music acts on the stage, but there were a couple like band elements too. But I was just so nervous the entire time that I was trying to spend as much time as possible outside of work hours, just prepping for it.
Yeah.
And learning the gear. And the other gig.
Did it go well?
Yeah, it went great. I did.
Good.
I did. And the other event was this kids play over in Burlingame, and it was one of those gigs where you get like a whole hodgepodge of gear and you have to just make it happen. It was the same thing. I hadn't used that particular console before. It was an M7, and there was 42 channels of wireless on kids, which if you've ever done kids plays is just challenging in itself.
Yeah.
And it was like 16 channels of one manufacturer that was in-house, 16 channels of like another manufacturer, plus like 8 channels that got added on last minute that the director brought from their home, plus like another couple channels that were thrown in that someone else had. And it's just this whole hodgepodge of gear, and trying to do all the frequency coordination in downtown, or not downtown, but like near the airport in San Francisco on a bunch of different gear was very challenging, to say the least. That was when I first became very acquainted with RF coordination and frequency coordination. And it was kind of one of those things where it's like, how am I going to make this work? I got to figure out how to make this happen, and then, do a bunch of research. And thank God for the internet in this day and age, because you can find all sorts of helpful solutions, if you do enough research on the internet.
This is quite true. Wow. That sounds pretty intense, man. That would have me pretty scared. Yeah. I don't have even close to the knowledge that you guys all do, but that sounds pretty harrowing, especially next to the airport. I mean, I know from like filmmaking using wireless lavs, you're in the middle of a take or something and it gets blown because you keep getting hits on your frequency and you got to stop and change it or whatever.
Right.
Not fun, but I didn't have whatever you just said, 42 channels or something.
Yeah. And it ended up working. I ended up using a copy of IAS, and then doing all the frequency coordination that way, and I was able to pull off the gig.
Hey, what's happening, roadies? It's Larry here. Just wanted to thank you so much for listening to this short clip. I really hope you got something out of it. If you can take 2 seconds to head over to iTunes and drop us a review or a comment, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Keep listening, keep coming back, stay healthy out there, and remember, no roadies, no rock and roll.